Hey, I'm Suzanna Lanier, actor and acting coach for over 25 years.
I'm Jess Greenberg, casting director for over 10 years.
We're here to help you navigate this crazy, creative, and sometimes chaotic journey into the film and television world.
We share our insights as to what works.
And invite some pretty spectacular guests to share more ideas to move you on your journey.
So without further ado, let's get into the show.
Hi, everybody. We're so happy to be back. It's been a while. We haven't seen you.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. We're excited. So Jess and I on this today's episode, we wanted to recap what we've been up to because it's been a few months, maybe almost even a year since we've been here. Actually had 3 or 4 episodes that we actually did, but we wanted to have a bunch so we could release them all together. So we thought we would just chat about how's it been for the past few months, what we've been up to. So Jess, you've been super busy, which is a lot why we took the hiatus, me also, but she just got really busy casting, which is good. And we haven't had time to keep up on this. So Jess, do you want to talk about some of the projects you've been working on and all the stuff you've been doing?
Yeah, it was actually a great year, and it's slowing down now as it usually does, but the anxiety creeps back in as it always does. But it was a great year. Worked on a lot of amazing projects. And also what was very exciting is I had posted telling people that we're coming back, and everyone was really excited. And that also did make me excited to get back into it. And I was very excited. Even I was messaging you at 10 a.m. I'm like, ready when you are. And then I went back to our text and I was like, oh, right. We said 11. So I was very, Anyway, so this year, what did I do? I worked on Victory Boulevard. I don't know. They've released it now, the poster, but it's only being released next year. But that was Karate Kid. So
very
Rosina
exciting.
and I worked on Karate Kid. We worked on all of the local roles that we're shooting here. I mean, everything was shot here, but obviously the leads came from the US. But that was quite the experience and very challenging. A big American studio film comes to Montreal, but you never know what kind of roles you're going to need, So it's like, great, that's coming. But yet, like, I don't think there was a single role that you could have even auditioned for.
Right.
Do you know what it like, which is crazy. So, and I think maybe there was like 17 roles in total, like, not that much, We also did Plan B, Rosina and I, that's season 3. And we did the lead this year. Last year, there was another casting director that did the lead and we did everyone else. And this year we took care of everything. And that was also, a journey. But
it was a lot. It was a lot. Like you guys, I counted my auditions. I'm so thankful. I did get a part. Yay! But I auditioned 7 times for that. I counted. And I was like, oh my goodness. I really auditioned 7 times. So I'm so happy and grateful and thank you. And it was a great experience. And I was so excited because are we allowed to say that Marianne Farley was directing it? Yeah, a bunch of episodes. And I had worked with her in the past, and she's an Oscar-nominated filmmaker, and she's a woman. And it was just really, really great to work with her, and she's a very special person. So that was exciting. And it was one day, small part, but I enjoyed my day a lot, and it's just fun to be on set. Yeah, so it was exciting. But I know I because Jess and I share the office, I know she was staying late like every night. I mean, it was a lot of work.
Well, just to put things like to understand the volume, like there was 90 plus roles that we had to cast.
Yeah.
And we had to build a family, a biracial family, and the kids were seen at like 4 distinct ages. So to find those kids at all those ages, matching them all biracial, that was a huge challenge. And, but like the script is so good. The story is so good. Like you see it in the auditions of, like people love the text. They love the different roles. So that makes it fun too, is because they're actually fun to watch the auditions because the scripts are great, you know?
Yeah. And not to poo poo Victory Boulevard, because that was great also. So,
Yeah.
but it's just, I think also what we get excited as an actor speaking for Plan B, it feels like we actually have a chance to book something. Like they really booked mostly local talent. There was a couple from Toronto,
All.
but most of them, like 99%, were from there. It's a couple from Toronto. So
Yeah.
you feel like you have a chance when when you go in the big American productions. Maybe if you go in for like a one liner, you might have a chance, but
Yeah.
anything else, you feel like they're gonna go from the States. Like they're just gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna cast elsewhere. So which is still great. And I had a lot of students who worked on Karate Kid. They loved as
Oh,
background.
even as, yeah, but even that, like it's so much fun. Like
It was so
Jackie
much
Chan
fun.
is there, Ralph Macchio,
Yeah,
like
it was
it's,
exciting for sure.
yeah.
And I wanted to say I have a lot of students who uh, raved about Jackie Chan. So if anybody's a fan, apparently he's like everybody's grandpa, the nicest
Right.
guy, spoke to everybody, very enthusiastic. So it's always fun when celebrities and your, celebrity you look up to are actually great personalities. And
Yeah.
so he was, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah.
There's my Hollywood
I'm
gossip.
more curious about Joshua Jackson.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't know
Me
who was doing,
neither.
but
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
I heard raves about Jackie Chan. Like, oh, he's
Yeah.
talking to me and he was so nice, and he was like just raves. So
Yeah. It was great to work on a project of that magnitude, you know?
yeah, huge.
Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, like there wasn't many opportunities, I would say, for Montreal talent just based on the story and what the needs were. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. So, but that is why we were, and you said you were, Plan B was a ton of work and there was a ton of characters, but what was exciting for us, why we wanted to keep auditioning is that we were motivated because we knew colleagues and stuff were getting cast. Like it didn't
Yeah.
feel like it was just a, shot in the dark. It felt like,
Yeah.
okay, they're trying, they want to cast us. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And
it's
ACTRA
fun.
also put in a rule
Yeah.
that people who have like a Ontario address cannot book as locals anymore. Production has to pay for them to travel in. So
Right.
that also, was a bit of a challenge, but
Yeah.
it pushed us to really not that we don't focus on locals, but like I guess the extra push of
It
like
was an incentive.
an incentive of like, okay, we're not going to give you X amount of options. Like these are the Montreal people. This is who you have
Right.
to choose from, you know? So
Right.
it wasn't for us it didn't make much of a difference, but I guess for the local talent it did because we didn't even present people who did not have a Quebec address. So that's cool.
So yay, thanks, AXTRA. They're always looking out for us. I love AXTRA. I'm a big fan. And I think it's great. I think it's great
Yeah.
and it's great for us. So
Yeah.
uh so that was a joy. So
And then the other
th-
thing too was Prophet of Ecstasy,
yes, that was
which
like
was which
your
I did
baby. Yeah,
alone, my
independently. Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like literally like almost a full year. I remember I went to the CMJ had a reunion. So,
Hmm.
last end of January, February, and that's where I bumped into Lori, who is the executive producer of Prophet of Ecstasy. I had shot the sizzle with them like 2 years before, and she's like, Jess, I'm gonna need you. We just got greenlit for the documentary and we're gonna shoot in like June, July. I was like, oh my God, amazing. And yeah, maybe this was February. I was like, well, you just made my year because like
Yeah.
it was like crickets, that time of year. You're like, will I ever work again? And anyway, so then we had started like, yeah, doing the leads on that. And this is the documentary about um uh, a priest turned ecstasy mogul,
Yeah, it's
which is
such an
just
exciting
wild.
story, wild
Yeah.
story. And
It
it was
was
set in the 80s, 70s, 80s,
80s,
80s, which is
90s,
an 80s night, the best.
the best. Such a
Yeah,
fun
so
era
fun.
for costumes, for hair, for party,
Yeah.
and the other character in this was the biochemist who was manufacturing all this ecstasy, and then Rick Doblin, who was um he's the big advocate for drugs, as like the use of drugs for psychotherapy.
Hmm.
And this guy was pushing ecstasy out at rapid pace and
Right.
volume that it got the attention of the DEA. And then very soon after, it was criminalized. And then, so it's their sort of like whole story. And then all the other characters. Anyway, also just great story. Production was tough. They only started shooting in November.
I remember it kept on getting pushed and you were like, "Rah," but it happened and you
But it
did it.
happened. I went to set
Amazing.
a few times, which was so fun. Just to see, like, you forget how much goes into a production. There
I
must have
know.
been 100 people there. And this is documentary, like docudrama. So yes, it's all reenactments, whatever. But I was like blown away. I was like, oh my God.
I love that. And I love that you're saying that. And I think that's, where I'm at a lot in terms of the magnitude of everything that we do, but we can specify it to films, goes into making what we, see on our screen and fast forward and like, boring. The magnitude of like the people, all the coming together, all the, it's really crazy to get
Yeah.
that 1 hour on your screen, to just think of what happens to get that entertainment, which is worth it, totally worth it. But
Yeah.
it is huge. It's so much more than just our personal audition or our personal, just like watching a show. It's like a whole hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people to make this happen. So it's
Yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
really cool. And then I was also like quickly reminded of like why I don't want to work on set anymore and like why I chose
Yeah.
more of the casting,
Yeah. See,
because
because
yeah.
it's a lot of work. And also the hours, the irregular hours are like,
Oh
whew.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot,
Yeah.
but it was amazing to see. And I think the finished product will be amazing. So I'm very excited for that. And yeah,
Well,
how,
you keep posting about it so we can, watch all these shows that you've worked on and you've
yeah,
cast, because it's exciting. Yeah, it's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Amazing. Well, my year wasn't quite my months. I guess it hasn't been a full year yet, but it hasn't been quite as exciting. But I did do some dubbing stuff, and which was great. I really wanted to get into it. So I did more. And I think more is supposed to be coming in the new year. I had
mhm,
an amazing workshop that I took that I loved. And they're apparently saying there's going to be more stuff. Yeah. And I got a new agent, House of Mark, who I love, and I'm so happy about that. I have a local agent, and it all, like, talk about the universe coming together. It was like my Ottawa agent, who had taken over my full representation when my old agent left, retired. Like, they retired the company. So I was already prepping voice demos. I got new headshots. I was already preparing myself to get a local agent. I was still was going to keep the Ottawa agent, but I
mhm.
was going to get a local agent. So I was prepping myself. And then she's like, she's retiring. And it was finally that kick in the butt to just like get a new agent. And, Mark was my number one agent. That's who exactly I wanted to be with. So he took me on right away. So it was like perfect person for me. And when I talked to my students about getting agents and stuff, I was like, your perfect person will be there at the right time.
Yeah,
Like when Kim first left, I sent Mark a quick email and he was not at all taking on new talent. And I just kind of did my own thing. I didn't worry about it. It was no stress. And then at the right time, I revisited and he was completely open. So these things come back. So, and same with parts, I would say, like, Plan B's in season 3. So if you guys don't feel bad, if you auditioned for it now, it doesn't mean it's not going to come back for a season 4. We don't know. It hasn't been announced yet to say, but these things come back.
yeah,
So things will happen for you at the right time. And until then, be happy anyway. That's what I would say. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're back. Jess has been super busy over the past few months. I have not been as busy, but I've been loving my time with my students. I have had my bookings. My new agent has definitely kept me busy auditioning, and it's been great. So I'm definitely good spirits as we enter into the holiday season. So we're back. Stick with us. We have some beautiful episodes coming. We had this amazing from what we did a few months ago that we never released with this director, Alba, and her journey is really exciting. It's like door open, door open, door open. She's going to inspire everybody. So please listen to that. It's coming up and you're going to love it. Okay. Have an amazing week, everybody. And we will see you next time. We're back.
Bye.
Bye.
If you're enjoying this podcast, we would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to support us.
Leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. You can share this podcast with your friends and colleagues and follow us on social media at Book the Room Podcast.
We put out episodes weekly, so subscribe to the shows to get notified.